Shalom. It's your brother Malcolm coming at you with another lesson. Giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashem Shai, whom I worship, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His Son, not Jehovah and Jesus. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of all Israel on earth today. And salutations to the Akim out there on the four corners of the earth, the confusion of faith brothers as well, who are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. And salutations to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning. The time is near. This is going to be another episode of Let the Bible Speak. And basically, just want to talk about the hypocrisy of the so-called white man. All right, it's basically it's on display. All right, with this latest fabricated incident that took place in Vegas, which is a clear and apparent false flag event where nothing adds up. I've even seen that. I said that it wouldn't be long before the images of the Craigslist wanted ads for crisis actors would emerge, and it has. All right, they say that the shooter was on the 32nd floor, but the shooter, the images show someone on the 4th floor, in the middle, not on the 32nd floor, to the far right. What else? Oh, no images of blood and guts or any of that, you know. And there's also they have a lot of metal detectors in the Mandalay Bay, to my understanding. I've never been to Mandalay Bay, so I can't say that I've seen it with my eyes. But according to reports, it's a big question as to how you get 23 weapons like the ones he had past security. And then it turns out too that there's a big pitch to sell these and push forth the whole lack or what's the word that I'm looking for? I wouldn't say martial law, but further destruction of your freedoms here in America, because it turns out that the people who own or the technology for these metal detectors, or these big machines like the ones they have in the airport that check your whole body, those things are to be sold like crazy. And it wasn't, it was barely 24 hours from the time that they did it to, they already started talking about installing them everywhere. All right, that America's just not safe. But that's not the point. The point is the hypocrisy of the pale male here in America. All right. And I'm just going to read through a few notes, and then I'm going to read some scriptures. All right. Because I watched a number of videos and which put the spirit on me to do this. So this is, it says the whitewashing of mass murdering of pale males. And that's pretty much what's happening when you like Timothy McVeigh. You rarely hear him referred to as a terrorist. And he killed, a lot of other white people. And that's another thing. You're seeing this white on white violence worldwide, and it's not really, but the person is never defamed, whenever there's an incident with a person of color, especially a so-called Negro, a black person, the first thing that they do when they're either the shooter or the victim, the first thing they do is they broadcast all their history or try to find something to put them in a bad light. You don't see that with white males, and it's like this is unspoken word that you don't prosecute pale males for their crimes, and when they do mass shootings, they get protected by the media. All right, but yeah, this is the worst mass shooting in history, but yet no defamation of this man. It turns out that he had led a life of crime, that his father had led a life of crime. His father was actually on the FBI's most wanted list and all these sort of things. But none of this is really this is all through investigative journalism and the alternative media, not the mainstream media, that all this information and truth is coming from, man. All right. Jay can be the victim of Edomite pale male supremacy, and his character still gets attacked, like Philando Castile, man. All right. And Castile is a Spanish name, by the way, but Philando Castile was shot dead, and the first thing they did was try to destroy his character, man. All right. But it's clear that the guy had to have a he had to have a squeaky clean background to get a concealed carry here in America. All right. Dylan Roof, this pale male, he planned his attack. He said that he planned his attack. He was even talking online with a bunch of other Edomites online about the attack. And he was actually frustrated because he was ready to do something and they were just talking. And if he was talking to these people, shouldn't they be accessories to the? Shouldn't there be other people got arrested with Dylan Dylan Roof? All right. And here's another interesting fact too that you can look up for yourself. But 71% of cops that get killed, pale male cops that get killed, are killed by other pale males, man. 71%. Okay, but you have to understand the pale male cannot be deemed for his true character. He cannot be seen as the aggressor or as the troublemaker, as the violent one in this society. All right. Okay, because the media is run and connected to the law enforcement, which is all set up by these same said pale males, man, who are part of this Edomite supremacy program, man. Okay, let's get some scriptures to solidify some of these things that I'm saying. I'm gonna go to Psalm 70, 73 and 5. And this is really through the Spirit and kind of quick. So forgive me if I rambled a little bit, but it was all toward the point that was being made. This is Psalm 73 and 5, and it says, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." So the white male gets or should I say the pale Edomite, because there's no such thing as white. Even Coach Greg Popovich just admitted that they made that up, and it's true, they did make that up. They're really pale. They're red. Their blood shows through their skin. Okay, they're different shades of pale. All right, but yeah, they're not in trouble with these other men. They get a smack on the hand for what Jake gets heavy prison time for. Okay, they could commit the same crimes. You bring a truckload, you could have 50 tons of cocaine in a truck, right? And get a 5-year sentence and 2.5, and you get two years probation or get total probation. All right, whereas. And they use that cocaine to make crack, all right. But a guy can get 5 crack rocks and get a year per rock, all right. Or I have a many. I mean, get 20, 25 years for just a few rocks in his hands, man. All right, which is all set up by said pale males, man. They're not in trouble as other men, man. They just aren't. This is Psalms 109. 18 through 20, and it reads, "As he clothes himself with cursing like as with his garment, so let it come into his bowels like water, and like oil into his bones. Let it be unto him as a garment which covereth him, and for a girdle where he is girded continually. Let this be the reward of mine adversaries from Yahweh, of them that speak evil against my soul." And the so-called white man, the pale males here in America, through their racist hypocrisy in their media, they speak wickedly and evil against the Israelites, especially those of the Southern Kingdom, the so-called Negroes, man. All right, especially against them. All right, let's go back to Psalm 73. I'm going to read verse 8. "They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily." Yeah, and they do. Okay, so things that should be punished and brought up is not brought up, and they'll make an issue out of no issue when it comes to Jake, man. But there'll be very important points and things on said pale males that don't even get brought up or talked about, man. And I'm going to read and finish with this. I'm going to read a speech, a saying, a quote that was done by that was said by Abraham Springfield, all right, whom the world ignorantly knows as Abraham Lincoln, okay? And it read, it says, I will say then that I am not, nor have ever been in favor of bringing about any social and political equality of white and black races. So that means no equality political in any form or fashion, man. So that leaves you out of the vote. That leaves you out of, that basically leaves you out of everything, man. All right. Socially, okay. As far as home loans, business loans, or whatever it is, man, you are to be left out of that and be given the crumbs or put on the bottom, or maybe be the forced labor to support that for them. All right. This is coming from your president, man. And this was, and this wasn't long after the Star Spangled Banner was put in, had been written. You have to remember, if you've never heard the third verse of the Star Spangled Banner, I highly suggest that you look it up, man. Okay, because these pale males have and will never be for you. Let me continue. It says that I am not, nor have I ever been in favor of making voters or jurors of the Negroes. So there you go. If you can't, to vote, you can vote policy that benefits you, your kind, your neighborhood, and jurors, then you can get fair trials. They wanted to make sure that never happened. Perfect example of that is just look at the statistics and the numbers of hangings that went on from the time from the time of the freed slaves, from the 1860s all the way up until the 1940s, man. Even up until now, you still have Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that get hung by the so-called white man, and hundreds of thousands of them dead, and not one pale male served any penitentiary time or was sentenced to death themselves for such crimes, man. And I have a whole book behind me that gives you a very close, in-depth history on that, man. All right, that's history that they can't deny. Okay, it says, let me finish reading. It says that I am not, nor have ever been in favor of making voters and jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor intermarry with white people. And I will say, in addition to this, that there is a physical difference between white and black races, which will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. And it's as much as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, must be a position of superior and inferior. And the said media, the police departments, because the police departments were nothing but the slave patrol. If you look at the badge that was given to the slave patrol, it's the same one that police officers use today. All right, and they always get a couple Stevies, Uncle Stevies. All right, if you watch the movie Django, Stevie made Uncle Tom's look like, yeah, but they always get them some Toms and some Stevies to join unto them, all right, and help their agenda, all right, because America has always used its military and its police to suppress and oppress people of color, especially the Southern Kingdom, who is the so-called Negroes here in America, man, and in other parts of the world too, all right. But yet again, let me go back into this letter. It says, and while they do remain together, there must be a position of superior and inferior, and I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. All right, and they do, and that is basically basically what happens, man. All right, they let a few through the cracks just to keep the peace, but there is a system in place. All right, from the media to the schoolroom to the churches, to keep that said position held fast, which is not going to break until the Lord breaks it, and He is. You look what's happening now around the world, what's happening here in America. All right, they're being exposed, man, and they don't like it. All right, and the Lord is killing them. Like I said, their women are sleeping with men of color. Their women are having a high abortion rates. Their men have a low sperm count. All right. A lot of them are committing suicide. All right. Let me finish this. It says, I say upon this occasion that I do not perceive that because the white man is to have the superior position, the Negro should be denied everything. So you Israelites need to wake up, man. All right. My next one is probably going to be on you Ephraimites over there in Puerto Rico that think you're that think you're so-called white people. The Most High gave you a wake-up call, and so has Donald Trump. Because no matter how much you want to be, and you've benefited from being somewhere in between being white and black, so-called, the so-called white man has clearly let you know that you are not one of him and you are not welcome. So with that, I say all praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Shem Shai, and until next time, Shalom.